There are wounds that do not bleed, yet they hurt for a lifetime. War, loss, and regret. Sometimes they don't kill us, they just make us colder. Until the heart forgets how to love. The man in today's story, Jason Miller, a U.S. Marine officer, was one of those people. He once saved dozens of comrades, survived countless missions, and was hailed as a hero. But when the war ended, he came home, and no one was waiting. Boston, winter. The city is buried in snow. Golden streetlights cast shadows across the face of a lonely man walking down an empty street. The pocket watch in his hand, a gift from his late wife, had stopped ticking long ago. But Jason still kept it, as if holding on to the last living piece of a life gone silent. In his small apartment, he drank alone. Outside, the distant sound of a train whistle echoed. On the table sat a photograph of his late wife and his son, who had left 10 years ago. The echoes of their last argument replayed in his mind. "Dad, you were never there when I needed you. I was fighting to protect you." "No, you were fighting to run away from yourself." The glass shattered. Jason fell silent, his eyes hollow. That night, Boston was swallowed by a storm. The wind whipped through the streets, scattering snow in wild spirals. Jason walked through the park, hands deep in his coat pockets. Then he heard it, a cry for help. Under a dim streetlight, a small boy was cornered by two homeless men. "Hand over the bag, kid." "No, it's all I have." Jason stopped. He didn't want to get involved. But when he saw a blow land on the boy's shoulder, the soldier in him woke up. He rushed forward, grabbed one of the men by the collar, and threw him down into the snow. "Get out of here before I change my mind." The two ran off, cursing. Jason turned back. The boy was trembling, clutching a soaked little dog to his chest. "Where are you going in this weather?" "Nowhere. I just need a place for Lucky to sleep." The boy's eyes were full of fear and fragile hope. Jason sighed. "If you don't want that dog to die, come with me." Jason's apartment. The boy huddled in the corner of the kitchen, spooning warm soup into his mouth. Jason sat across from him, silent, eyes still hard. Inside, a voice whispered, "Don't get involved." But another, faint and distant, replied, "Don't abandon him, like you were abandoned." When he looked back, the boy had fallen asleep, wrapped in a thin blanket around Lucky, shivering. Jason stood still for a moment, then quietly laid a thicker blanket over them. That small act, so simple, was the first crack in the wall of ice around his heart. The next morning, the boy, Leo, told his story. His mother had died. His father had been arrested. He'd run away from home. Jason wanted to send him off, but somehow he didn't. Days passed. They lived together, cooking, cleaning, fixing the old pocket watch. Leo: "Uncle Jay, why do you keep that broken watch?" Jason: "Because it used to tick, just like I used to." For the first time in years, Jason smiled. One night, the police knocked on the door. Leo had been caught stealing bread from a grocery store. When the officers left, Jason exploded. "You betrayed me? I just wanted to buy medicine for Lucky." "Shut up, I don't need liars in my house." Leo burst into tears and ran out into the snow. Lucky barked after him. The door slammed shut. That night, Jason realized he had just done the one thing he would regret for the rest of his life, driving away the person who needed him most. 3 days later, a blizzard swept through the city. Jason sat by the window, watching the snow fall, his heart empty. Then, faintly, he heard a dog barking somewhere in the distance. He ran outside, down the icy streets, calling out. Under a bridge, he found Leo curled up, Lucky motionless in his arms. Jason dropped to his knees, voice trembling. "Leo, listen to me. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve to be abandoned like this." Leo whispered, "I'm sorry too, for making you sad." Jason's hands shook. "No, kid. I'm the one who needs to learn mercy." He lifted the boy into his arms, tears falling freely. And there, in the heart of the storm, a heart that had been dead for years began to beat again. A year later, Spring sunlight glowed over Boston. By the Charles River stood a small coffee shop named the Harbor of Mercy. Jason and Leo worked behind the counter. Lucky slept peacefully at their feet. On the wall, the old pocket watch ticked again, tick-tock, tick-tock. A customer asked, "Why call it the Harbor of Mercy?" Jason smiled. "Because here, lost souls find a place to anchor again." Jason Miller once believed war was how you protected the world, but he only truly saved one thing, when he learned to show mercy. Mercy doesn't make us weak. It brings us back to life. Because only when we learn to forgive can we truly love. And only when we know how to love are we truly alive.